Right, first time ever on the channel. We got rappers, and we're talking up to 25 fucking million views on YouTube. These guys are huge. So it is a real privilege to have Skengdo and AM on here today out of London. And I'm going to try and get the life stories out of them. But before we go there, got a few quick questions because a lot of people on my channel are asking what people think about the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation.
Yeah. Right. Well, just if you're trying to know my opinion on what he done,
yeah,
I feel like he made his choice and his decision. A decision I would have made. I would have been in jail like a sucker, just burning, but it is what it is. But as he come out, I feel like his attitude is completely wrong with it as well. So that's why I feel like a lot of people are offended, because it's not like he's come out and he's poured his heart and said, yo, these guys done me wrong, this is why I done this. He's like, yeah, I'm a snitch, whatever. He's done the whole rap thing, you know what I mean? And I feel like it doesn't send the correct message, an accurate message to younger people coming up, because in certain places, you do that, you get killed. So I feel like he's watering down that message, and a lot of people might go out wrong by seeing what he's doing. So
yeah, in Arizona prison, it's KOS for snitches. So has he got a target on him now for the rest of his life?
On site. What does the 6ix9ine?
Yeah.
He definitely does, and I think he knows that. But as long as he has money, he can run around it. I feel like he can be in hiding, he can run around it. But if that money runs out, that's where it gets scary.
So he's using that money to put up a wall of protection.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it was 9 Trey Bloods.
Yeah.
Was the gang he snitched on. That's a prison gang, isn't it?
Must be.
Out of Rikers, I think.
Watching a documentary, I think it actually started in prison, slightly.
Yeah.
I think it did still.
You fuck with those guys, they're going to make an example at some point.
No, 100%.
So he's going to be like watching his back forever. So a lot of people have asked about Rick Ross, because he's doing these records saying he's, you know, sell coke and do all this stuff, and he was a prison guard. What do you think about that?
I don't know, like, he was a prison guard, innit? Like, I don't know if that's still, like, what, does that still count as being a fed? Like, do you know what I mean?
You're part of the
You're
government
part of it,
thing,
but are you out there nicking guys and man's already in jail, bro? Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know how that. I don't know.
I see you got away with it. You definitely got away with it.
Yeah.
He's all up now and that. You get me?
Yeah, they accepted him in the music thing. He done the whole drug thing, so he got away with it still. But like in this country, highly doubt that can work still.
But he was saying that he was undercover though, for the streets.
Maybe so.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
He said he was undercover for the streets and that. Like, so who knows?
So who's influenced your music from the American scene?
For me, them Chicago, like Chief Keef, Little Reese, yeah, just all like that little movement there was what influenced me. But before that, it would have been like 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg and all them guys there.
Whole load of gangster rap. That's influenced the way I rap anyway. Just gangster rap in general.
So you guys are two of the biggest names in the drill scene and pioneers. Is that drill music exclusively to the UK, or is it worldwide? There are other artists.
The drill that we do? Nah.
Like the whole scene, has it gone worldwide?
Yeah, it's global. Definitely global.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest rap scene so far that's like ever. And even if it's not there yet statistically, I feel like it's going to be there eventually, because it's in lots of countries where they're not even speaking English, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So I feel like the drill scene's literally gone crazy.
So for the Americans then, I got more than half my audience is out of America who perhaps haven't heard of it. Could you explain what it means and how it started?
What, drill?
Drill music.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
I reckon so in Chicago, that drill sound came up. I feel like it's like before that there was trap. So there was trap music and hip hop and rap. There was no drill. Then Chief Keef and his set came out with that specific sound, and it just, that sound there translated straight into the UK, was using the same beats as them. And then in the UK, it developed in itself over the period of like 3-4 years, developed into its own sound, its own UK version of drill. And then UK drill started to go everywhere, as opposed to the initial US drill. It was the UK drill that started to go everywhere. Then obviously a couple of New York guys, they were fucking with the beats. Then they started using some UK drill beats. Then obviously, you know, when things happen in America, attention goes everywhere. But even before New York, it was like Europe, Canada, Australia. They already picked out that sound from the UK. And when we fly to these different European countries and everywhere else, they're like, yeah, we know about you lot, or we know about this from the UK, just because of that sound. So, and these are big artists over there.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see. But I thought that's how it's spreaded so far.
So how are you handling then this rise? Because, you know, I'm from a little town in between Liverpool and Manchester. Didn't grow up with jack shit. Went over to America before I got into the trafficking. I made a couple of million legit. Had no fucking emotional maturity whatsoever. I just go off the rails, throwing parties for up to 10,000 people, getting all the drugs I can get my hands on, dating strippers and just going wild. And I fucking melted down because of that and ended up in the feds. How are you guys handling it? Staying out of trouble and shit?
I feel like before the rise, we've always had to kind of stay out of trouble. So it's not been like nothing like new. I feel like it's just been a lot more. Obviously, they don't want to see us get to a certain point. So it's like, yeah, we're going to try everything we can to kind of stop them. But we know better than that, do you know what I mean? So it's just, we keep our head out of it.
We ain't new to nothing though. We ain't new to girls. We ain't new to money. Obviously, the more money, we're new to a larger amount of money. But we're not new to it, so we know how to compose ourselves and how to move, coordinate, you know?
So I've written 6 books about Pablo Escobar, and one of his favourite quotes was, "Envy kills more people in Colombia than cancer." So people, when they see you rise up, they try to trip you down. And sometimes it's the people closest to you because they're thinking, why aren't I having that success? How come he's got it? Are people coming at you like that?
Dead weight got chopped off time ago. So anyone that's ever come at us from that direction, you will never see them around us. Yeah. But it happens. And it's something that's how one of the ways to measure your success. So if it's happening, it's a good thing in a way. Yeah. And I'd rather it happen earlier than later, so you can cut off and move coordinated like that.
So you guys have got this really like game plan where you're planning ahead. What about the trolls? The trolls are driving me fucking crazy right now. They're all over my shit.
Bro, you just gotta ignore the trolls.
Yeah.
It's part of it. I say if you don't have no trolls, then you're not popping. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's interested in you. You know what I mean? So trolls, you just got to ignore them.
It's another sign of success, isn't it? All right, so with Tekashi then, he clicked up with that gang. Do you think that was pure marketing or he was in the mix?
I don't know. I believed it. I kind of feel like he was in the mix with them.
Yeah.
I feel like they seen him as a money machine and they gave him a blah. Like, they're like, yeah, cool, you didn't grow up on any badness, this, but you're around us now. We got your back. You can do all this rap about what we do, and just when the money comes in, everyone's nice. And that's our little deal that we got going on. You know what I mean? And with that, he was part of them. He was part of their organization. Yeah. That's how I feel it went down.
So what is the gang structure in London? I'm sure the Americans would be fascinated by that.
What does that mean?
Like, in America, you got all these different street gangs, and then there's like Bloods, Crips, all the different colours. But when those guys come to prison, all the street stuff is left outside the door, and it's all racial gangs in American prisons. So I'm curious how London street gangs are and how it operates, how they work together, or how they have beefs in the UK prison system when they go to prison.
Well, from my own knowledge, first of all, the London street gangs is messed up. It's a whole mess. So there's no really, the colour code isn't really a big thing now. Even postcode, whereby maybe 10 years back it was about postcodes, even that doesn't matter. So it's more individual groups and whatnot. It's crazy. London's weird. It's very weird when it comes to gangs. Obviously, I haven't been to jail, so I don't know how that translates in jail. But I would assume like it's the same thing. To be fair, thinking maybe in them jails up in Scotland or somewhere where there isn't predominantly black people or people of color or race, like the way London is. London's very multiracial. Then maybe up there they're a bit more focused on race and stuff like that, and a lot of racism. But in London, I feel like it's just the same as the roads. You just need to know who's your people and who's not, and it's just messy like that.
Yeah, because I write a lot about drug laws and the war on drugs, and it's like the violence over control of the drug market just increases every year. So we're calling for an end to the war on drugs on this channel, and the legalization of weed in particular to start with, because that's the most common drug people do. So where I was housed in Arizona, the average arrest was like a black kid or a Mexican kid with a little bit of weed getting a 2 to 5 year sentence because of the racism out there. Oh. It's off the fucking scale. They got $50,000 of taxpayers' money per year per prisoner. So to fill the prisons up, they said, who are the easiest people to arrest? Young people with weed. Mm. So what do you guys think about weed laws? Do you think it should be legal?
Go on, smoke.
You know what it is? I'm 50-50, Carl.
Yeah.
There's guys that are doing their thing on the streets. So if it gets legalized,
takes the business.
You get it? That's their business gone and that. You get it? That a couple of my guys will actually be done out here. You get it? Feel me? But if it's not, then it's calm. Like if I don't have to see the Jakes all harassing man for a spliff or something like. Cause there's been times like some feds don't bother, like they'll see what you like a little bit, like cool, whatever. But then there's the arsehole fed that'll just be like, yeah, cannabis, like, yeah, handcuff him. And now you're on the back of the van going to the station for a Benz or something stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense, do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's 10 bags. That's £10 bag of weed you're going to a police station for. Like, it's happened, do you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm 50-50 on it. Like, there's pros and cons, definitely.
Yeah. What about you, AM?
Definitely the same still, because I'm trying to think about economics right now, demand and supply. If you increase the supply, you know what I mean, then it's gonna make it a bit more techie for people, I reckon, and everything's gonna be accessible. So either prices are gonna have to drop, or there's a lot of things could happen, you know what I mean, and it could mess up a lot of people's income. Or then again, it could create jobs as well, depending on how they're gonna distribute it and how you're gonna be allowed to distribute it. So yes, I don't know how to feel about that. But ideally, sounds like it being illegal is a big problem. I mean, ideally, you would want it to be legal, but then you have to think about it practically as well.
So one of my problems when I go into prisons then and talk to the fellas is to try and convince them that if they're dealing, they've got the skill set to run a business. You got to have eyes in the back of your head to look out for the cops. There's all these things you got to be vigilant about, so that if they just did a legitimate business with their skill set, they would do really good. Don't you think that your mates or people who are allegedly on the streets doing stuff have got a skill set to do a legitimate business with that?
100%. I've always thought that, even for ourselves, just in terms of being a hustler, and having that mentality. Once you translate that into the business world, you can kill it. Like you take risks, you do all these things, you invest. It's literally the same skills, just a different playing field.
You guys must be an inspiration then to so many young people to see how you've made it through this legitimate business. Do you just get messages all the time from people saying, look, you guys have influenced my lives?
Yeah, I definitely see it in my DMs. It's hard to message back everyone, but I definitely see it and appreciate it. Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
How does that make you feel?
No, it feels good because it wasn't intentional. You know, when you're just trying to do better for yourself and then you're seeing other people get inspired by it, you're thinking, all right, cool. Maybe like even times when you feel like you're going to give up and you feel like, damn, this ain't working. You have to remember people are still looking at you and people in worse positions, so just got to keep going.
When you started this, did you set out to inspire people like that, or did you have other goals in mind?
Nah, they ain't set out to inspire nobody. Ain't trying to be no type of role model.
Really?
Just trying to
Nothing
get
like that.
money.
Yep.
If there weren't money in music, you probably would. I'll have a couple of songs there just for fun. If there, why am I here if there ain't no money? You know what I mean? So, I mean, there was anything in life as a hustler. You see, if there's an opportunity, you got to take it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that opportunity and I'm putting everything into it, and then here we are.
So I had to ask myself, after I was arrested, I had to do some soul searching and say, why did I set out from being a teenager? I got to be a millionaire by the age 30. Why did I want that money? And what did it get me? So I had $1 million house on the side of a mountain. My wife was like a bisexual stripper who was doing lesbian internet porn. And, all weekend long, it was just ecstasy, GHB, ketamine, Xanax. And in the beginning, it started out like I'm having the time of my life. And I look back now and I think that. But then the dark side starts to kick in. And the competitors are trying to take me out. And the cops are following us around, recording our license plates and all this shit. And people following me. And I don't know if it's the cops. I don't know if it's the competition. And I'm starting to fucking break down mentally. So it seems like there's a cycle of success where nothing can stop you, and you're rising, and then everything starts to go wrong, And it was my own psychology that caused my self-destruction because I was emotionally immature. And my question for you is then, you said you want the money. What's the money going to get you? It got me prison in the end. Yeah. And they took everything, even everything I made legitimately, my pension, they took everything. Yeah.
I feel like money can do a lot. Obviously, growing up where you don't see a lot and you're limited as to how you can make money, any opportunity, you just want to take it. You just want to help your family, help the people around you. So it turns from that, I feel like a lot of people, it turns from that, then that's when the kind of lifestyle, the greed, you fall into the trap of that, and then that's where it starts to go wrong. But initially, if you're setting out to just make it legit, or just make it out and then get money for your family, move them out of the area you're in, all those little things, that's when your heart's pure, your intentions are good, and you feel good about doing that. And then after that is where it gets all...
That's really struck a note with me, because fucking one of my biggest regrets is not getting my mum a house and shit and fucking taking care of my family more. I went out to see my mum, who flew 5,000 miles to visit me in prison, looking all broken in the visitation room, man. That really wrecked my heart. It really did. So I like it that you got that pure soul. Definitely. And you're looking after your family members. That's really good. Can you tell us a bit about what it was like growing up for you guys and how you met?
To be fair, it was just like, it's kind of normal, to be honest. Like, obviously the environment that we was growing up in weren't normal. But as far as my life, I went to school, all of that, done school and shit. But yeah, like I was just influenced by the stuff that was, like I said, that was around me. Do you know what I mean? In terms of me and AM meeting, I don't even remember how. It's just always been like, as far as I remember. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't actually tell you. I can't give you a story like, oh yeah, me and AM met like this.
Yeah,
like
we got this. You at the same school? No. How old were you when you met? At least
young kids. Like, we lived in the same estate. So when you go outside to play, you're just out there with all the other kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, a few others as well that were still around now. But yeah, that was pretty much it. But yeah, stuff like school, like when I went secondary school, seeing other people from different areas now, and like they're coming with like what they've obviously been brought up in their hood or whatever, coming to school. Yeah, everyone's just like, that's just how you kind of find yourself. Do you know what I mean? And then it was after that where everything kind of just kicked off. That's like heavily on the streets. Like, after school times, because I didn't do college. Yeah. I didn't do college.
How old are you guys now?
22.
22, yeah. So what was it like growing up for you, AM?
Pretty much the same, to be fair. Grew up in the same estate. There's a lot of violence around, but it's not really new. I remember primary school, because most of the members and stuff, we all went to the same primary and stuff, so we never really saw each other, even to this day. Never saw each other as gang members or anything. Just see it as the guys or the man them just the guys you grew up with, the guys you went to school with, and then obviously you just get associated like that to that group. But we'll see in violence, so we'll see someone get stabbed, someone get shot. We go to school the next day. The other day my school was literally right next to the house, so it's in the same estate as my nan's estate. So we'll be going to school. Oh yeah, see over there, that someone got stabbed, you know, did it? And everyone's like, is it? And then so that was from young. So then coming up and then realizing in certain parts of London, kids didn't really grow up like that. They never heard those stories. So even when I went to secondary school, I was telling stories about my area, and guys are like, what? Did it? And I'm thinking, come on, you know what I mean? So I started thinking, maybe this area is a bit wild. And then I went to college in West. I went college in South, then I went college in West. And then the stories were different. You started to learn about people from Northwest London and North London. When I was young, all I knew was South. That's it. As far as I was concerned, when you cross Vauxhall Bridge, it's just mansions and paradise, you know what I mean? So all I knew was South London. So then, that's basically how we grew up.